Yes, guys, welcome again. I want to introduce a special guest. He is someone that I admire, have always have admired, someone that has been very, very important for the start of my career. My brother, Nigel de Jong. Welcome. How are
Thank you,
you?
bro. Good to
How are
see
you
you again,
doing?
man. Hey,
Yeah,
can't
man.
complain. Can't complain. Can't complain. Good to
Yeah.
see you.
So you told me earlier you're in Madrid right now.
Yeah.
Why are you in Madrid?
I'm doing some stuff here, some events. After this, I'm gonna go to Dubai, and after Dubai, I'm gonna go to Qatar.
Yeah,
So it's all work related.
yeah.
I'm a globetrotter, what they say nowadays. I'm collecting air miles.
Right, right.
So you've been seeing that also, from my social media lately.
Yeah.
You gotta keep the grind going, and
Yes.
especially when you retire, it's very important that you have something that that keeps you going.
Exactly.
And also in that process, knowing what your actual goals are.
Yeah. So to be clear, you are officially retired of football?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Officially retired now
Yeah.
a year or so. And in that year, obvious went straight into television work. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I was doing television work already during my time when I was still playing.
Yeah.
So to lay the foundation as well in order to go and continue that after my career.
Yeah.
But apart from that, that obviously is not my main goal. Television
Yeah.
is good to do, nice to do, but the main goal is to have a leading position in an organization, and that's what I'm
Right.
doing. Beside that, doing
Right.
some courses and going to school.
And but so the main goal is to stay in the football world?
Yeah, the main goal for me is to stay in the football world. So what I actually do is I'm doing a course for sports management and everything that comes with football. So it's the dynamic of football,
Yeah.
and it could be different stuff. So
Okay.
actually, I want to stay in football.
Yeah.
And what I said, it's have to be a leading role in football. So you can think about being a sporting director, being a director of football. So it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the pitch. I shy away from coaching badges or coaching on the pitch.
Right.
It's really to guide myself and to lead from the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Curious question. Was it
Mm.
easy for you to quit with football, or was it a difficult decision?
If I'm really honest with you, it was an easy decision to make.
Mm.
As you were well aware of, the last 4 years, I made a move to Qatar.
Yeah.
Obviously in Qatar, it was already a little bit, shying away from the European football scene.
Yeah.
So I already set myself up, also for what is life after football.
Yes.
So I was already thinking about that process, going in that mindset, and also going in that way. So for me,
Yeah.
that's really important to have. So
Yeah.
it was an easy decision for me to make. And obvious during my time, the last years of playing football, I developed other sides of myself,
Yeah.
because I knew after your career you have to go and continue at least 40 more years in order to or earn another financial income or do something that you love to do. So it was not easy. It was not hard. It was quite easy because I was 37 when I retired.
Okay.
It's a good 20 years of professional football.
Yeah.
So I was content. I was
Okay.
really content.
Okay. Yeah.
With my career.
Yeah, that's the actually it's nice that you talk about it because that's
Mm.
actually the whole purpose of this conversation.
Yeah,
I've been talking to other colleagues of us
yeah,
before, and it's
right.
really to try inspire the current generation, the early generation,
Mm.
to hear stories from our experience to understand like okay, football's not forever, and it's already a good idea to think about what's happening after your career while you're playing. Because as you
Mm.
know, we know the famous stories of athletes who start thinking once they retire, and then often they are in a rush because they have no income and they're going to start going into stupid things that they're not aware about, and that's how they lose money and end up being bankrupt. So
Mm.
once again, thank you. When for you in your career did you had the mindset, or did you start changing in terms of like, hey, I need to slowly already start thinking about that? Because I imagine, I mean, if I speak for myself, I remember obviously we are both not really necessarily coming from a family with, you know, very wealthy family. So
Yeah.
when you sign your first contract, it's normal to kind of like change behavior a little bit. You know, you're gonna spend a little bit more because you can. But at one
Yeah.
point you get used to that. What point was
Yeah.
the turning point? At what age did you feel like, hey, I bought my nonsense. Right now it's time to understand what my priorities will be for the future.
Um, you know, the real realization that kicked in, I think I was about 30 years old. But even before that, you know, when
Okay.
I was, you know me, I was
Yeah.
always early thinking about investments. I was
Yeah.
always thinking about, doing something for myself. You know, on the age of 22, I already had my own car company
Yeah. I
for
remember.
electronics. So I was always thinking about, okay, what are other ways to earn money apart from football, and
Yeah.
how can you invest your money in different ways when it comes down to make a solid investment?
Yeah.
That can be also in how, like in real estate. I have a lot of real estate over the years that I invested in.
Nice.
So those are things that I really um, had that mindset already on a young age. But
Mm.
still, though, the real realization of when it's really time that you have to quit all this nonsense of buying secondary things,
Yeah.
watches, cars, like going to the club to spend
Yeah.
50K,
Yeah.
all these kinds of, private jet left, private jet
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
When you come to really to the realization, I think it was around like when I was 30, 31,
30.
because then you realize, okay, when is the last big contract that you can have?
Yeah.
When is the last contract that you can get? How long do you still want to play and continue football? What is the income that you generate, and what
Right.
is the outcome apart against that? So you really have to balance it up in order to, okay, what are my financial goals, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. I mean,
Yeah.
for especially for athletes, because we are accustomed in a way that we always have big money coming in.
Yeah.
So you always think, okay, I can spend it. So that
Yeah.
means there's always income coming in.
Exactly.
But we all have to go through the process. I know,
100%.
I know you remember that time that I picked you up from your parents' house,
Yeah.
and I came and you came in the car and you saw Jacob Co. Remember the
Yeah.
Jacob and Co. watch on my wrist?
Yeah.
And you're like, what? This guy got a Jacob and Co.
Yeah.
Listen, I tell
Yeah.
you, and that's one of those things. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of money back then, but I
Yeah.
needed a watch just for the sake of it.
Of course.
And I couldn't even there was a diamond ring on it. I couldn't
Yeah.
even afford a diamond ring
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
too expensive for the
I
salary that
remember.
I
I
that I,
remember.
that I got for that month. So I had to wait another month in order to get the diamond ring on top of it.
I remember.
So
I remember.
it,
Yeah.
it just tells you, like, we all go through a process of buying unnecessary things, right?
Yes.
You have to come to a realization soon,
Yeah.
eventually. Okay,
Yeah.
what is now the time and moment in order to invest stuff. So
Exactly.
I think I was aware on a young age, but
Yeah.
still did a lot of stupid secondary buys. But at the end of my 30th, or my beginning of my 30th, 31st, I really had that realization.
Yeah. I wanna tap into later in that moment of our careers
Yeah,
in the beginning when you pick
yeah.
me. But at age 30, where were you? Which team did you play for at that time? Do you remember?
I was in Milan.
Okay.
I was in Milan. Having had a fantastic contract, financial independent.
Yeah.
Obvious that after that, I was 30. I was 30, 31 when I made my move to LA Galaxy. I went
Yes.
to LA, California for a year, and then I
Yeah.
came back to Turkey in
Yeah.
Galatasaray.
Galatasaray. Yeah.
Oh yeah, in that span, obvious, like you don't have a solid base anymore, because when I was
Yes.
in Milan, I had a solid contract. I was there for 4 years, and now all of a sudden you have to club hop. You have to go from a year
Yeah.
there to coming to back to Turkey for 2 years.
Yeah.
So that consistency is not there anymore contract wise. So you sign a 2 year contract there, a 2 year contract there. So all of a sudden you have to think, okay, listen, this is not solid. This is not something that you can build on for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
You have to make a decision in order to, okay, what's next? What's
Right.
now? Like, financial set, yes. Well, okay, where do you want to invest your money in?
Right.
Then you can start to think, okay, what are good investments? What are investments that have have less risk in
Yeah.
it? Um, is your money safe in a sense of um, what you put in? Do you get your return over a span of
Exactly.
years, or do you want a quick return, or do you want a quick flip? It's all kinds of
Exactly.
things that go into your mind.
Exactly. How were you able over the years to differentiate? a good investment from a bad investment? Did you had to first go through certain experiences of losses, or did you had good guidance, people who taught you about to clearly show you this type of investments are risky, less chance of succeeding? How did you learn that?
But I think with learning process, you have to make mistakes.
Right.
You have to make mistakes, and I did as well. I made some bad investments throughout the beginning
Okay.
of the stages, in the beginning of my career.
Do you
In the
have an
middle of
example that you can
uh,
share?
well, investments in, for example, stock exchanges. So, for
Right.
example, for stocks, when you have somebody that explains you about how the stock market works,
Yeah.
and thinking about a quick flip and saying, like, okay, you can invest 150K in this, and the return will be in 2 years, for example,
Yeah.
450 or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the market crashes. We're a good example in 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
When the financial
Yeah.
crisis was.
Yeah.
So I made investments already before that
Yeah.
in my time in Germany, and obviously, like, everything
Yeah.
collapsed. So now all of a sudden your stocks are worth like less than 20K.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
make a 130K loss.
Yeah.
And I didn't just buy one stock. I buy stocks. So all of a sudden you have over half a million euro you have in stocks, and
Yeah.
now all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah.
So these kind of things are bad investments.
Yes.
Watches, like, I'm a big watch fan, so you always go for vintage watches.
Yeah.
You always go by what people in the industry are saying,
Yeah.
what you want to buy, and what you're gonna buy. Now all of a sudden you think, like, a couple of years later the watch is worth less than the actual retail price.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are a lot of examples when it comes down to bad investments. But you learn as well, and
Yeah.
that, because in the learning process you develop a circle around you with people you trust, yes or no, because at the end of
Right.
the day, as an athlete as well, people are leeches. They
Yes.
come from everywhere.
Yes.
They try to sell you everything because it's a profit for them, because they know it's a cash flow at athletes.
Yes.
It's not something that they have to, like, convince a bank in order to give them a loan.
Right.
Athletes are quick flip
Yes.
for a lot of people, and you have to be aware of that.
Yes. No, that's right. That's right. I obviously can relate. Um, no, it's really important, and yeah, it's unfortunate, of course, as we are easy targets during our careers, not coming from that world, and people, especially who are approaching us, they feel that. So we're, especially at a younger age, easy to manipulate.
Yeah.
I want to jump a little bit. I'm curious about your time in Los Angeles. How was that? Because I mean, obviously, as you know, people who know me, I'm a admiring of the country America. I mean, I have a hate and love relationship with that country.
I
But
know.
I always, of course, had the ambition to try and play there. I think maybe I missed my window right now. You never know, but
Yeah.
um, I'm curious. How was it to be in Los Angeles?
It has its ups and downs, obvious, because like, when you're thinking about California and Los Angeles, everybody thinks about Hollywood, everybody
Yeah,
thinks about Beverly Hills,
yeah,
the nice lifestyle, whatsoever, like the glamour side of America. So let me just start with actually playing in MLS.
okay,
Playing in MLS for me was not the best experience,
okay,
because I come from a European system with
yeah,
relegation whatsoever, and I didn't really like the fact that there was no proper system in place that could punish you when it goes the other side.
yeah,
Um, Actually, you get rewarded the next follow-up year with a draft, so you get your number one pick from the university. So
oh,
the worse you play, the more reward you get.
oh,
That's an American system that I didn't really like.
mm.
And obviously also the flying. Like, I was on the West Coast. Sometimes we flew 7 hours to the East Coast and played New York and Chicago and Vancouver and the whole side. So you were away from the West Coast for 10 days to 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
And that
Okay.
was yeah. So that was kind
Oh,
of it was kind of hard for me to grasp in.
yeah, yeah,
Really hard for me to adjust.
yeah,
And then obvious what that's the sportive side of it, but then also
right,
like lifestyle part of it. Um, it is a fantastic place. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm looking to when I live in a certain place. I'm looking at the financial and also logistic things
Yes.
of where I live.
Same.
So,
Yeah.
for example, Los Angeles has with taxes the highest tax bracket
Yeah.
in the states.
Yeah.
You can have different kind of tax incomes when it comes down. I mean, you got your income tax, you got state tax, you got property tax,
Yeah.
you got so many taxes where you have to think about. So obviously, when you're going to be a resident and you're going to be committed with a green card or with a SOFI number,
Yeah.
once you have that, they're gonna assume that you are a U.S. resident.
Yes.
So for me, it was really a change to see in a way how things had to set up.
Right.
But that was for me was also hard to accept that I had to pay so much on that side of the things.
Right.
So I couldn't really concentrate on the sportive side of things. You
Right.
understand? Because
Right.
obviously you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to
Yeah.
do all these kinds of things, but
Yeah.
obviously like it's hard also for me to grasp.
Right.
So it was like a balancing thing. I
Okay.
love the fact that you got a lot of good stuff, the lifestyle.
Yeah.
But if I'm really honest, I would love to go to LA again, but as a tourist
Exactly.
and not as a
Exactly.
resident.
Yeah.
Living there is completely the opposite from actually visiting the place.
Right. Right.
So I really experienced that. I have both sides. Obviously, I went to LA multiple times over the
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
but especially in that year, I didn't really like it. So
Okay.
yeah, it
Okay.
was it was not the greatest experience. Let me just say
Right.
that.
And you end up staying one season?
One season, yeah. I
One
stayed
season.
one season and I then went back to Turkey.
To Turkey. Yeah.
So
I
got off
remember.
the
Yeah.
flight, called and got knocking on my door and said like, listen,
Yeah.
we need a defensive midfielder. Would
Yes.
you love to come to
Yeah.
Turkey? And I said, yeah, get me out of here, please.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. Interesting. I obviously did also a lot of I did my due diligence and I heard a lot of stories
Mm,
and
mm.
I was actually fortunate, past summer to train 2 weeks with LA
Yeah,
Galaxy to remain fit.
right.
So I had
Yeah,
a
I've seen it. I've seen it.
yeah, I
Yeah,
had an
yeah.
opportunity to see a little bit from the inside. So that was a great
Listen,
experience.
nothing really, and in that hub there where they
Yeah,
are in Galaxy, and
yeah,
especially with the performance training that they do
yes,
downstairs.
yes.
I was there also for my rehab when I snapped my Achilles tendon.
Okay,
I was there for 2 months to do my rehab, and
okay.
it's a fantastic place.
Yeah,
Training wise, you cannot compete with anything.
100%.
Americans are top when it comes down performance wise,
Yeah,
but also rehabbing wise.
yes,
I won't take that away from anybody.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's just the fact that when you are a resident, you
yes,
come to when you come against different problems and
yeah,
different kinds of
yeah,
headaches
yeah.
when it comes down to that. So
Right.
yeah, I would say I love the place, but never again as a
Yeah,
resident.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no, no
yeah.
chance.
Okay,
Uncle Sam,
interesting.
Uncle Sam is everywhere.
Uncle
Uncle
Sam's
Sam,
everywhere.
he comes with a line with like a rod
Right.
and just reels you in. Like, yeah, we got another one.
Yes, yes, yes. We always try to avoid Uncle Sam if possible.
Oh no, no, no. No
Um,
joke.
yeah, let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah,
Well, actually, let's go back to like my beginning, our time.
yeah. Mm.
I remember, I came in, I made my debut in 2004. But of course, prior to my debut, I was able to start training with the first team as a second team player. And yeah, at that time, obviously you had to be 18 to have a driver's license. So I
Okay.
came to the training on my bike, and
Yeah, yeah.
I remember we're joking. You were like, "Hey, listen, you're a first team player now. You cannot. I'm not allowing you to be coming on the
Oh,
bike. So I'm gonna pick you up every day." What made you actually do that? Because obviously, I mean, I know we had loved each other. You were looking after me, but still, in the beginning, it didn't really make sense to me because you lived a little bit further than where we had to train, and I lived
yeah.
closer, and then you had to drive past the
Training
training
facilities.
residence where we were
Yeah,
training to pick me up in order to drive back. So for
mhm.
you had to wake up earlier every day, and you were doing that every day for me. So
Yeah,
that was for me like, I can always like that's always here. So I will
yeah.
never forget. How was that for you?
It was a great time.
Yeah,
Just to and make the viewers clear as well.
yeah,
I was always on time, man. Somebody else always came late. I was
always.
knocking on
Yes,
the doors. I was ringing bells. Like, Where's Ryan? Where's Ryan? Your
Yes.
parents are gonna be mad, like you had to
Yeah.
wake up, you overslept.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it was good times. It was good because I then always had a problem because I came late then as well. If you came
Yes.
late, I came late to
Yes.
pick you up.
Correct.
So
Correct.
sometimes
Correct.
I just had to put you on your place. Like, listen,
Yes.
don't do that again, bro. Like,
Right.
listen, for real, I'm not gonna pick you
Right.
up anymore.
Yes. No, you're
But
right.
what good times. But
Yeah.
just back to your question, saying like why I did that. I think for me it was a natural thing because I never had that. I never had that like that big brother kind of relationship with anybody that would pick me
Yeah.
up. You know, I was always the oldest in my family, so I will always put that role on myself. So for me to actually give it away or being a big brother for somebody else, especially in the beginning of the stages,
Yeah.
was really important. You know, like I remember in the beginning when I came, I was 17 when I made my debut. You know, there was nobody really that guided me inside of that team.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just a natural process.
Yeah.
Obvious, you know, also the history that we had in Kelbergen, you know,
Yeah.
where my best friend used to live,
Yeah.
and also the affection that we had, also playing on the streets. We always seen each other, so it made it easier for me just to step in and say, you know what, you're not part of the first team. I don't want
Yeah.
you to take your bike anymore. Don't go with the
Yeah.
subway every time to Ajax. I'll
Yeah.
just pick you up, you know. And for
Yeah.
me, it was just an easy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, never in my mind, you know, like the effect that it would have later on
Yeah.
for you or for me.
Yeah.
And also at that stage,
Yeah.
was just like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pick you up, you know,
Yeah.
like it's just a normal,
Yeah.
it's a normal thing for me.
Yeah. No.
But it just comes also because what I said,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never had that experience.
Right. No, I can also relate to that because what I now see around me, I love to be that person for any young player where I am, right? So there are always young players in the team, and I've always kind of catered to the younger players, especially as you know in Turkey, the Turkish
Yeah,
older players, they trying to kind of like take advantage of younger players in terms of like you guys are young, so be careful
yeah,
or don't show yourself
hierarchy,
too much. And I just
hierarchy.
look up for them
Yeah,
like, hey, listen, play free, do what you have to do, show yourself, you know. And so I can relate to that. And you know, once again, you know, that part really helped me settle and feel at
mm-hmm.
home at the first team, you know, and yeah, trying to, you know, focus on football. um
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you know, till
yeah.
this day, you're doing the same. I'm still doing the same. You know, we're not takers, right? We're givers.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
always try to make other people comfortable in the situation that they are, and you
Right.
can you can recognize also somebody who's having a bad time or not
Yes.
really feeling himself at the right moment in the
Yeah.
situation. You will be the first person to put a arm around them and say, "Hey, yo, what's going on? What's up?"
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Just don't think about it, right? Like,
Yeah.
just don't think about the situation before. Just do your thing.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's a good habit to have and a good
Yeah.
sixth
Yeah.
sense, I would say, to have, because
Yeah.
it helps you in the long way, because you never know how this person will turn out.
True.
One day he might be the CEO of Microsoft, and he
Exactly.
remembered that you were like, you were that guy back then that helped him out.
Exactly.
You never know, like
Yeah.
how things go in
Yeah.
life. So always try to respect others
Yeah.
and try to be a helping hand for others, because you never know, like how they will end up.
100%. You even gave me my first ride in your car when I finally had my
Yeah,
license.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a good
Thank
experience
God,
too.
thank God, thank God, you didn't smash that.
Right.
Fiat
That was
Stilo, no? You remember the
yeah,
Fiat Stilo?
yeah. Hey, that was a great car.
That
At that time,
was
that
a
was
good
an
car.
incredible car. Yeah,
That was the shit. That was the
yeah,
shit.
that was an incredible car.
Mhm.
And no, I
Yeah,
thank you for that because I always was like, oh my God, I can't wait to have my license and have
yeah,
my own
yeah,
car. And no, so that
yeah.
was a good experience.
Yeah.
You have kids.
Yeah.
How are they doing? How is it for them? Um, Obviously, we come from, we grew up in Amsterdam. We had
Mhm,
one typical
mhm,
childhood, one
mhm,
location, one neighborhood.
mhm,
But our kids, they are
mhm,
international. They travel with us.
mhm.
How do they? What is their connection now with Holland and Amsterdam? Of course, family, but do they consider Amsterdam, do they really feel home, or do they are they more like they're flexible? Obviously they're flexible, but how are they coping with being an international child?
That's a good question. Well,
Yeah.
I had that argument the other day with both of my kids.
Okay.
Talking about, is there an opportunity for you guys to want to go back to Amsterdam? Um, but they're still in doubt
Okay.
because as you know, the one born in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I've been abroad for 17 years, so
Yes.
they don't have no affiliation with Amsterdam as well, apart from family members.
Yeah.
So they feel that they're more like world citizens. They don't
Yes.
really have a place in at the moment that they can say this is home.
This is home.
Um,
Yeah.
Eventually, they have to we have to make a decision in order to go back or
Yes.
to another country,
Yes.
even if it's London or whatsoever.
Yeah.
Um, but they're coping well. I think they're really flexible. They understand the dynamics of traveling. They understand also the dynamics of moving places,
Yeah.
like they always have been. And I think the older they get now, the harder it is to get them out of their routine.
Yeah.
Like the teenagers, the 15
Yeah.
and 13. So
Yeah.
they have their own little life. They have a group of friends now, like they're committed to. So it's really, for me, that's the only thing that I really like. Okay, do you want to take them out of that little bubble?
Mm.
But eventually they know, like it's expat life, I always say, because
Yeah.
you've been traveling, going from country to country.
Yeah.
So it's an expat life. So yeah, eventually they will need to adjust because at the end of the day, they're Dutch citizens.
Yeah.
So if we go back to Amsterdam, we have to go back to Amsterdam.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you personally feel about going back? I mean, personally, when I um in Amsterdam too long, I kind of feel a little overwhelmed. It's like very narrow. It's very small at the end, and then I have the need to step out again. Do you have that too, or you have a different type of experience?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been abroad for 17 years, right?
Yeah.
So I'm even thinking English. I think
Yes.
talk English. So like even the Dutch language for me is sometimes hard to grasp and to find words.
Right.
Um, but I always love to come back to Amsterdam.
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie, it's still my city. I was born and raised there, so
Yes.
I know every corner of it. But what you said is true. But that also comes to the fact, like, the amount of pressure that always comes with it when you go back.
Yes.
Family members always want something from you. Your friends
Yes.
always want something from you. There's
Yes.
pressure from third people or people that you just see on the streets, like half of friends or people
Yes.
that you know, and they want something from you. So it is a place that can really put you under pressure in that sense,
Yeah.
and then make you want to go out.
Yeah.
But it also really depends of how you put yourself in those situations.
Right.
If you just have a certain barrier and balance and say like, okay, till here and no further.
Mm.
Don't come when I come back to Amsterdam. Don't ask me for no money.
Mm.
Don't ask me for no free gifts. Don't ask me for no favors. I
Right.
just want to be me, and we can have a good time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like if you
Exactly.
put your barrier early doors when you are a young kid with a lot of money,
Yeah.
with the financial resources,
Yeah.
and then obviously then it's a good time to come back once in a while and maybe
Yeah.
thinking about going back.
Yeah.
So for me now in this stage, I'm almost 38 right now. So, I had the experience to say what I wanted to say to the people that are close to me, and they understand the assignment. They
Yeah.
understand also my type of behavior and my type of living.
Yes.
So they're not gonna go there anymore.
Okay.
But eventually, at the end of the day, Ryan, we from the dam.
Yeah.
We are Amsterdam, born and raised.
Yeah.
So it's not like we never say never that we're gonna go back. You
Right.
understand? We
Right.
live everywhere in the world, but at the end of the day, when it's Amsterdam, it's Amsterdam, and you are international. I'm international. We
Yeah.
can always travel. Travel for us is not it's
Yeah.
piece of cake. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So as long as you have your base, and then you can go somewhere wherever you want.
Yeah. To go a little bit deeper in that aspect, um, I know you always had your core group of friends. You still have them. We
Yeah.
know who they are.
Mhm.
But along the way,
Mhm.
um, was your group a little bit bigger? Did you had to lose friends that you thought maybe that could eventually be in that circle, but then didn't make it because of those behaviors that we didn't want to see?
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I had four best friends.
Yes.
One eventually passed away.
Yes.
We
Rest in
talk
peace.
about
Yes.
Belberg, Luciano
Yeah.
van den Berg.
Yeah.
He was 20 years old when he passed away.
Yeah.
So we lost him in that process. And then obviously, you got four guys left.
Yeah.
Three guys left. But along the way, you meet a lot of people in
Yeah.
your career because you go to so many places, you go to so many different experiences. So there's always people that come and hang around through a friend of a friend, or that you meet once in a while,
Yeah.
and then you think like, oh, that guy can actually be a cool guy from
Right.
the way how you've been talking. He's not
Of course.
asking a lot of stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like he's never into stuff. Like he's never like really pushing yourself
Yeah.
in a certain situation. But then obvious, the real personality comes out, and it always ends up with a money issue. It's
Yes.
always about money,
100%.
nothing else.
Yeah.
You can everything can be sorted, right? You
Yeah.
can have an argument about anything. If it
Yeah.
is like a family member, if it is talking about like women, or talking about like whatever, it's always something that you can have an argument with.
Yeah.
But the majority of relationships that go bust is about money,
Yeah.
and especially in our situation as
Yes.
athletes, money is the number one key. So
Yeah.
I had to get rid of a lot of guys like
Yeah.
around me, because at
Yeah.
the end of the day it was like, can I borrow like 50K because I got
Yeah.
like a kind of little investment that's going on,
Yeah.
and I need
Yeah.
the money, but I can't really get it at the bank, or I seen this watch, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
or come with the most horrible stories, bro.
Yeah.
Like my mom is in the hospital, she's about
Yeah.
to lose her eye. I need 30K because this and this and this.
Yeah.
And then we as givers, and we as being genuine guys say, you know
Yes.
what, look at 30K here,
Yes.
go do your thing. And then eventually you go deeper into it. I sent one of my boys to like check that story out.
Yeah.
It's like, she's fine. She's in
Yeah.
she's in the house. She's not.
Yeah.
She doesn't have no problems with the eye.
Yeah.
So it,
Yeah.
it comes to me. You just have to recognize it. It's hard though. It's
Yeah.
hard to
It is
recognize
very
because
hard.
they
Very hard.
palm you in, eh? They
Yeah.
palm you in, eh?
I know. I know.
They reel you in. They reel you in. They reel
And
you
and
in, and
and
then
and and, and once you say no, then we are the crazy ones, right? We are the ones who are like different or
yeah,
have changed.
yeah,
And no, I know that. I know that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
last question.
Mm.
Any advice you can give? Um, you know, football players in general, the younger ones who are upcoming, who are about to take over the world.
Mm.
Mostly into like in general, mindset wise, money management wise. Any advice?
I would say money management wise, not it's just the tip of the iceberg that will earn, like 50K a month and above. That's
Right.
only the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
So, for the younger guys, or for the other guys that are out there that have less than 50K to spend in a month, just money management is the key, man.
Yes.
Like a career is not forever.
100%.
Your income always needs to be bigger than your outcome by all times.
Yeah.
And do enjoy. I would say do enjoy, because you work hard also to enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
not you work hard to invest into this and just to be tight all the
Yeah.
time. You have to enjoy, but just be limited in your enjoyment.
Yeah. Have
Just
a good
know what you
balance.
can
Yeah.
and what you can't do. And I would say move solo. Move solo.
Yeah.
Even though you have a group of friends, you have
Yeah.
an entourage, always move solo. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, an entourage will kill you. The
Yeah.
entourage around you will kill you, because
Yeah.
you will not pay only for yourself. You pay
Yeah.
for 4 or 5 others around you. And
Yeah.
then it stacks up, because then the money will go out as soon as possible. So management is key. And
Yeah.
I would say early doors, get somebody who is financially advising you in a proper way.
Right.
Like get an accountant in, get somebody who can do your books, get a good lawyer around you. You might pay a little bit more, but I'd rather pay them than your entourage,
Right.
in order to put your money straight.
Right.
Yeah, and then just go by month. What can
Yeah.
you spend? What can I spend? What can I put away? What is still my income? And what
Yeah.
can I invest? Because at the end of the day, when you're 35, 34, and then yeah, you got maybe all the cash in the world. Then
Right.
what?
Right.
Then
Yeah.
what? You can't do nothing anymore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you have
Yeah.
to have along the way. You have to know the right people.
Exactly. Nigel, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for
Welcome,
your
Brody.
thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for your experience. And once again, I appreciate you. I love you, and I wish you well in the future with everything. Good health, you and your family and your kids, and always a pleasure.
Always, brother. You know that, man. Love,
Yeah.
man. Always, always. And if there's anything in the near future, investment wise, come
Right.
holler at your boy. Yeah.
Right.
Come holler at your boy. Because you do a lot of stuff also moving solo.
Right.
Yeah. But
I know.
come
I
holler
know.
at your boy.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We'll
I
talk.
need to
We'll
see it
talk.
first. I need to
We'll
see it
talk.
first, and then we can discuss if I continue with it. Yes or no.
For
Is it a
sure.
real
For sure.
estate? Is it a real estate?
All right. Right.